What is up, guys? It is Marcus from Perspective Sports, and today we are talking about the Kevin Durant trade to the Houston Rockets. And before we go any further, let's talk about the details of the trade. The trade will see Kevin Durant sent to the Houston Rockets in exchange for Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, the 10th overall pick, and 5 second-round picks. That'll be the 59th overall pick in this draft, two second-round picks in 2026. The 2032nd round pick from Boston, and a 2032 second round pick. So that'll make up all of the 5 second round picks that the Phoenix Suns will receive in exchange for Kevin Durant. And let's start with the Rockets. And great job. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Great job in this trade by the Houston Rockets. They get a player that they so desperately needed in this most recent playoff run. They had many a moments where they just needed a guy to take over offensively. They either needed to break a scoring drought, try to reclaim some momentum, or just flat out get the ball to this number one option and let him create some offense for us. Alfred Sengun did a very good job in the playoffs in this 7-game series against the Golden State Warriors, where he averaged 21 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. But when you watch the Rockets play, you can only think that they need a guy like Kevin Durant. And the Rockets are a good team. They won 50 games this season. They just had a really bad draw in the first round to have to play the Golden State Warriors, who had some ups and downs of the season of their own. They ended up getting Jimmy Butler, and that's a whole different team. That's not a regular 7-seed team that you're playing right there. And they still pushed them to 7 games playing extremely inconsistent, spotty basketball. But now, is this Rockets team perfect? No. Do they still need to do some improvement this offseason? Absolutely. As of right now, I still wouldn't pick this team to make the finals. Kevin Durant is 36 years old. He missed 20 games last season, but he still had a very good year. 27 points per game on 53% shooting from the field and 43% from 3. So he's still a very good, productive, high-level player in the NBA, and he definitely takes this Houston Rockets team to the next level. But they still need to add shooting. It doesn't end with Kevin Durant. They ranked 22nd in three-pointers made last year and 21st in three-point percentage. That needs to be a big point of emphasis for this team going forward. And the best part of it all is they kept their core together. Amin Thompson, Cam Whitmore, Alfred Sengun, Jayshawn Tate, all while adding a player like Kevin Durant and moving away from a guy who I thought they would probably look to move on from either this offseason or next offseason, depending on how he developed, in Jalen Green, who the potential is there, right? I think we can all agree that we all see the potential with Jalen Green. He's just not progressing how I thought he would. Again, he's a freak athlete. He just has failed to develop a reliable jump shot. There are times where he just goes ice cold, 3 for 11, 0 for 7, 4 for whatever. And he just goes spurts without scoring. And that just can't be the guy that you look to be your number one option. And so I think for a team that's trying to contend like the Houston Rockets, they have to move on from a guy like him. Let him go somewhere where there's not so much pressure to succeed right now and develop into what we think he all can be. And now for the Phoenix Suns. What in the world, man? Like you couldn't even get your own draft pick back? And the reason that I'm kind of harping on them not getting their own draft pick back is because you got to throw the towel in. You got to just blow this roster up. You have tried to build a team around Devin Booker multiple times, and you failed. It is time to say we failed. It is time to hit the reset button. It is time to start from scratch. You need to trade Devin Booker for as many picks and assets as you can get. You need to trade Dillon Brooks. There's going to be a lot of bidders for Dillon Brooks. A lot of people, you might say, Dillon Brooks, I mean, is he really going to command the market? There's going to be teams and contenders out there that would like a player like him that can play defense. He shoots around 40% from 3. They're going to be able to get some value for Dillon Brooks. And then reports are coming out that the Suns don't plan on keeping Jalen Green, which I agree with. Go ahead and flip him for as much value as you can possibly get. And as far as Bradley Beal, they are between a rock and a hard place when it comes to Bradley Beal, because you're going to have to first convince him to waive his no trade clause. And secondly, you're going to have to trade 1 or 2 first-round picks potentially just to get somebody to take him off your hands because of that contract and that no-trade clause. So all of those moves that I mentioned before this would probably have to happen first for Bradley Beal to say, yeah, I'm not gonna be here for that. Or he might say you're stuck with me. And so I think this is a product of the Suns just making a bad decision. I never understood the Bradley Beal trade to begin with. I didn't see what he brought to Phoenix. Now, don't get me wrong. Bradley Beal's a good player. He was very good in Washington. So Bradley Beal, the player, isn't the issue for me. It's what he would bring to Phoenix that I never understood. I said it when it happened. It seems redundant. Him and Devin Booker. It's like Devin Booker's just a better version of him. Quite frankly, not as expensive at the time as him, and we see it. Devin Booker's going to have a market. Bradley Beal's not. Bradley Beal really didn't fit in the starting lineup. They didn't have a real point guard, which hurt them. And then you move Bradley Beal to the bench. He seemed to be playing a lot better, but you're not going to pay that guy that kind of money to come off the bench. And so the Phoenix Suns just never, the roster construction just never made sense. And I think we're at the point where you just need to blow it up, get as many picks as possible, get as many young guys as possible, and go from there. And so, yeah, that's what I think about this trade. I think the Houston Rockets did a really good job. The Suns, I'm going to hold off my judgment until the offseason is over to see what comes out of this Jalen Green deal all in the end. And so let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I'll be looking forward to reading it. See you next time.